One of the most common things I hear from dental practice owners is that they were able to generate leads, but those leads never ended up actually making it to the chair. Now, our sales team books over 1,000 consultations every single month. So in this video, I'm gonna run through the 4 pillars of lead conversion and exactly what you can do to improve your sales process and get more out of your marketing ad spend. So the 4 pillars of lead conversion. These are the 4 biggest levers that impact your appointment booking rates, the percentage of leads that end up actually converting to booked appointments. Pillar number 1 is availability. It is honestly unbelievable once you've seen the data, how much of an impact availability has on booking rates. In an ideal world, you have as much availability as possible, but it's a bit of a trade-off, right? Because you don't want to have a slot available this afternoon. Whilst that's good from a patient perspective, you don't want to run the risk of potentially having an empty space and a clinician just sat there waiting around for a patient in an empty chair. That's the most costly thing possible. So whilst that's ideal, it is a bit of a trade-off. So the golden window is 3 to 7 days. That is the hot spot for when patients want to book. That is kind of the ideal window where you're not really dancing with fire too much, by running the risk of not having that slot filled the next day. 3 to 7 days is when you want to pack as much availability as possible. If you do not have any availability for 2 weeks, you'll see massive drop off at that point. Like, you really want to have lots of slots available within 3 to 7 days. Anything above 14 days, you will see significant drop off in appointment booking rates. Also attendance rates, you'll have more cancellations, more FTAs. It's really a nightmare. So availabilities have such a big impact, and it's really something that's quite easy to monitor. Now, what else can you do? Well, you can do evenings, evening appointments. Patients love them. No one wants to take off work time to go to the dentist. So if you can offer evening appointments and, of course, weekend appointments, you're offering way more flexibility to patients, and it genuinely does make a huge difference to them if you can offer evening and weekend appointments. It's harder to get clinicians to do it, but trust me, it makes a massive difference. What else you can do? You can do 15-minute increments. That also has a big impact. It's not 15-minute appointments, it's increments in terms of when you can actually book. So for example, instead of offering 30-minute increments, which is typically standard, let's say 3 p.m., 3:30, or 4 p.m., instead you're offering 3 p.m., 3:15, 3:30, 3:45, and 4 p.m. More flexibility, higher booking rates. Another thing kind of related to this is many booking softwares have features like smart scheduling. There's lots of different names for it, like diary optimization, which is essentially if, let's say, you had 3 to 7 p.m. open, it would only show slots at 3 p.m. or maybe 7 or 6:30 p.m. as well, to make it easier for the clinician so that you don't have, bookings in between long gaps. Whilst again, then you're optimizing for clinicians, enjoyment and flexibility, you're damaging your booking rates. The more availability you have for patients, the better. So those are 5 things that you can do to get more availability. And trust me, it's number 1 for a reason. It has a massive impact on booking rates. Pillar number 2, speed. Speed is king. So the faster you call the leads, everyone knows this, speed to lead makes a world of a difference. The faster you call the leads, the higher the answer rates and the higher the booking rates. And again, once you start seeing the data on this, it's honestly unbelievable how much of a difference this makes. You need to call your leads within 15 minutes. I speak to practice owners all the time. They think their leads are being called quickly. Then we look into their CRM, and believe it or not, well, most CRMs don't even track this, but the CRMs that do, they then see, oh, my average speed to lead is 6.5 hours. That obviously is not good enough. You need to be calling your leads at least within 15 minutes. And what's crazy is that if you call your leads within 60 seconds, on average, you'll see a 391% increase in bookings. 391%. That is insane. So the faster you call the leads, the more bookings you will get. The third pillar of lead conversion is personalization. We're in the age of hyper-personalization. You want that call to be as personalized as possible. So any information before you even call them, any information that you have on the patient prior to even picking up the phone, the better. So for example, obviously their first name and actually using that in the conversation, knowing what they inquired about, whether they inquired for a specific location or branch, if you have multiple practices, all of that should be factored in before you actually pick up the phone and contact the patient. Then when you're actually on the phone, it's interesting looking at our best sales guys, what they're doing differently. And very often, it's not actually the fact that they're really good at objection handling, like those things make a difference, but often it's actually rapport building, because this is like a high consideration treatment, right? Very often we're advertising a lot of cosmetic treatments. It's a multi-thousand-pound investment. So often, all of these patients have been thinking about it for a really long time. And now they've finally seen an ad, they've decided to make an inquiry, but they haven't booked, right? Because we always give them the ability to book in themselves, and they haven't booked through, which means there's something that has stopped them from booking in. And it is that salesperson's objective to find out what that blocker is. And very often you overcome that blocker by just having a really good conversation with them. I can't tell you how many patients we've booked in where they then go into the practice and end up telling the staff member, the clinician, or the practice owner that they booked in because so-and-so was so lovely on the phone. If you can build that rapport with the patient, and very often our sales guys will spend 20, 30, 40 minutes on the phone with these patients beforehand, because many practices won't do that, and it's spending that time with the patient that really goes a long way. And that personalization, this follows on beyond just appointment booking, but then when that person has had a really good chat with Amy from the practice, when they come into the practice, there needs to be a really clear handover of information from the patient coordinator on the phone to the people on the ground in the practice. Because when they come in for that consult, you want that person, the TCO in the practice, as well as the clinician, to already be fully aware of the patient's profile before they see the patient, so that there's a really clear handover of information, the patient feels heard, and they're impressed by the professionalism of the practice. So personalization. Now the fourth is volume. Now, volume makes a huge difference in lead conversion, and many practices massively underestimate how much volume is required. They'll call a patient once, twice, maybe 3 times, and then say, oh, the patient didn't answer and it didn't go anywhere. Now, how many times should you contact your leads? 6 to 7 times within 72 hours. It sounds like a lot, but this is how much, I mean, we're just looking at the data here. We do whatever the data tells us to, and we've looked at the data, and 6 to 7 times within the first 72 hours is where we see the best results. Now, we used to call patients over a much longer time frame, and we've now really compressed that down, because most patients book within the first 72 hours, and most book within the 2nd to 4th attempt. So that is the key. Volume is a big factor. Now, what else can you do to increase your volume? Well, you can have dedicated staff. If you have a receptionist who's responsible for a million other things and she's just calling leads in her spare time, there's going to be a limit as to how much he or she can actually spend time calling leads, right? So having dedicated team members whose sole responsibility it is just to call leads will massively improve your volume and will also improve your speed to lead. Now, as you scale ad spend, you're going to see way more leads coming through. And one of the biggest issues that we see practices doing is as they increase their ad spend, their results start dropping off and they wonder why. And very often it's because they don't have more staff. As you increase your ad spend and you're getting way more leads coming through, some practices don't think that they actually need to increase the number of people that they have. And you'd be shocked at how many people it actually takes sometimes to handle all the leads that you need to, especially when you're making 6 to 7 attempts within the first 72 hours alone. We had a practice who we're now working with. Before they signed on with us, they were spending $25K a month on ads for Meta exclusively, and they had 1 full-time person calling their leads. So you can imagine what happens to your speed to lead when you're spending $25K a month in ads and you have 1 person calling your leads. I think they're more part-time, but 1 full-time person. More stuff. What else can you do? Well, you can have things like power dialers. So you'll find that if you have on average, let's say a 25% answer rate or pickup rate on the phone calls that you're making, when you actually look at the talk time of your patient coordinators, you start to realize, wait, the majority of their day is actually just spent on the phone, just ringing, not actually speaking to patients. So side note, when you're actually looking at your patient coordinators and you're building a team, you want to be looking at their talk time as well, because you don't want patient coordinators just sitting around just waiting for the phone to ring. Their skill set is around sales and talking to people, so you want to maximize the time that they're actually spending talking to people. So if you have a 25% answer rate and you want them to spend more time talking to people, you can use things like power dialers. Power dialers will dial multiple leads at once and then only connect ones that actually come through with the team that you have on hand. We've built one in the Dentology platform that does this because you need to be smart about your power dialers. Like, they need to be intelligently routing calls. What you don't want is just calling 10 leads at once and then someone answers the phone, but then all your team members are busy on the phones already, and then that phone call just gets dropped. That's obviously a bad look for the patient, so you definitely don't want that. So there's multiple different ways that you can do around it. We've built our own one baked into the Dentology platform. Now, what else can you do? AI. So you want to be using as much AI as possible. Now, AI chatbots, AI voice callers, they all exist, of course. They're out in the market right now today. As of right now, our human sales team outperforms AI voice calling quite easily for the time being. I think it also depends on the nature of the calls being had. If it is inbound calls, a patient wanting to book a hygiene appointment, the nature of that conversation is really more of like logistics, scheduling the appointment, right? Whereas what we're doing on these calls, we're speaking to patients about high consideration purchase, a cosmetic treatment. They've had the ability to book in, but haven't. It really, where you get the maximum performance out of your sales team is converting all of those leads who were interested, but not interested enough to book themselves all the way through immediately. So there is often an obstacle that you need to overcome, and engaging with patients and resonating with them on an emotional level is really how you get as much performance as possible. So AI voice calling is not there yet. Now, the rate at which AI is developing, it's very possible that it will be there in the not so distant future. So you definitely want to be on top of that as it's kind of coming out. AI chatbots, on the other hand, those are really good. You don't want to waste your sales team time, who their time, again, is most valuable when they're on the phones. Just texting, like, AI is good enough for that already every day of the week now. So AI chatbots, yes. AI voice calling, not there yet, but could be in the future. Those are the 4 pillars of lead conversion. These 4 things have the biggest impact on your ability to convert leads into booked consultations. So how do you actually implement this? Well, we went through some of the things that you can do for each of these different items, different things that you can do to improve each of those metrics. But on more of like a fundamental, holistic view, the key thing is documentation of processes. I think this is where most practices fall short, is they don't actually have SOPs on how everything should be done, right? So you should have, firstly, you need a CRM. You need to be able to manage all of the leads coming through. Most practices, I would say, have a CRM at this point. Occasionally I speak to a practice that doesn't, but when you're dealing with a large volume of inbound leads coming through, or any leads for that matter, you need a system to be able to handle all of these leads, see where they're at, so that you can track all of this stuff. Second is you need a clearly mapped out follow-up process, right? If you haven't documented what the process is around follow-ups, then your team isn't going to follow it, right? So you need to map out, okay, when do we call patients? How many times? How is this all going to come together? Now, I talked about the 6 or 7 touch points within 72 hours. That is the kind of stuff that you'd want documented in a clear process of exactly what your team needs to do. So, for example, if you have a CRM and you have a big pipeline, how should patient coordinators manage that pipeline? Where should leads be going? All of that needs to be documented in a process. Third, you need a script. If patient coordinators are getting on the phone and just having a random conversation, it's going to be impossible for you to get results from your marketing. The more you can standardize this process, the better. Now, you don't want to have a script and just have your patient coordinators absolutely married to that script with no ability to deviate whatsoever or engage and resonate with what a patient is telling them. As I said earlier, one of the biggest things that drive booking rates on these calls is actually building rapport with patients. So if the person is just like asking question, response, move on to the next question, it's going to feel so structured and inhuman and not personal. And as we know, personalized experiences make all the difference in booking rates. So you need to have a script. On that script, you want to map out the exact structure that a salesperson or a patient coordinator should go through on that call. There is flexibility to deviate from it, but they should still be following the script, right? You want to engage with what people are saying, but at the same time, you don't want a patient coordinator just having a 45-minute chat about the person's holiday just to build rapport, right? There needs to be some structure here. 4, quality control. Right? When you're having lots of conversations with patients, you need to have a regular process for auditing these calls. Not like quality control, like we need to make sure everything is okay, but also how can we help train our patient coordinators to get better and better so that you can get the best results and stop burning your leads. Right? So quality control, this might be a weekly review process. Like for example, we have specific scorecards that all calls kind of go through where we're rating them on different aspects of the calls. You can have things like that. You just need a regular cadence of you actually reviewing calls so that you can make sure that they're following your process that you've mapped out. 5th is role play. Role play is the best way to train salespeople. It is a live kind of mock interaction where you're essentially pretending you're a patient, you're asking them questions, you can hit them with objections, and you can basically drill specific parts of the script that your team struggles with. This, ideally you want to be doing as much as possible. We do it every day, but once a week would be good, and I really do think that this makes a huge impact on sales team performance. So those are the 5 things that you can do and should be doing to get better results from your lead conversion process. Make sure you're following the 4 pillars of lead conversion and paying attention to make sure that you're maximizing what you can get from all of the leads coming through. Now, in order to how you can actually implement this, you can either build the team internally and you can hire dedicated people to do this role, which I think is definitely much, much better than just having in-house people like receptionists, for example, who are dealing with lots of other things. If you can have dedicated team where they just master this function, you will get much better results. If you want us to take a look at your process at the moment, audit how your results look like, what you could be doing better, then feel free to book a call via the link in the description.